Guys, it's 2021 and everybody's upgrading their camera to the latest. Every camera company are removing new camera bodies and they are actually challenging themselves from Sony to Nikon to Canon, Fujifilm, like every one of them. And you're just opening your laptop, going to Google, going to Amazon and trying to figure out what camera should I buy. Before you make that purchase, stop and watch this video. Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Mayo Otu. I'm a documentary photographer based in Lagos, Nigeria, and my channel is where I share simple tips that help beginner photographers, and I drop weekly videos. So if that interests you, please subscribe to this channel and hit the like button and tell your friends to do so. Tip number one, pick up your tool, like your gear. Is it a camera body, is it a lens, and write down all the things you can possibly do with that gear just before you go out to buy another gear. Take out your old gear, it could be your lens, it could be your camera, whatever gear it is, and write out all the things that you think you can achieve with it. If you cannot actually get all those things off the top of your head, YouTube is there for you. Everybody, like there are a lot of reviews about gear on YouTube. All you just need to do is to go to YouTube, that's right here on YouTube, and search your particular gear. Like if you're using the 5D Mark III, you can just search the things you can do with 5D Mark III in photography. You put the list together and ask yourself this question: have I been able to use my gear to do all the things that have been listed or reviewed about this particular gear? If not, you don't need to buy another one. Just make sure you use that particular one to its fullest. And that reminds me, like, do we have anyone here who has ever shot all the f-stop on their lenses? So I want to know if you've shot all the f-stop on your lenses, and drop in the comment below, tell me you've shot all the f-stop on your lens. Because at the point, people always believe that, oh, if I get this new lens, if I get that new lens, but you've not actually taken time to learn about the lens you have. You've not actually taken time to shoot through all the f numbers on the lens. The f-stop is the aperture on the lens. For beginner photographers, f-stop is what we used in describing aperture. Sometimes we do not spend time to shoot all the f-stop to actually find out where is the sharpest point on our lens. We just say, oh, our lens is not sharp enough. So I want you, if you've not done it before, just before you buy another lens, shoot through all the f-stop on that particular lens you own. You might just be so shocked to know that your lens is more powerful than what you actually give it credit for. Pick up, write down all those things and cross them off on the things you've done and the things you've not done. If you've not made maximum use of your gear, please do not buy another one. It's a complete waste of money. The second point is go and read your camera manual. See, most people when they buy their camera gear, when they see this stuff, you know what they do? They throw it away. They don't read it. They say, what's this for? Throw it away. But the truth is, you don't have to do that. For you to be able to use a gear, you need to read about what the camera manufacturers say about the gear. So the manual is what helps you understand a particular stuff. Nobody reads manual. I'm sure like you've never read the manual before. Like that's what we do, we throw it away. But the point is the manufacturer of any gear at all, think about it. They always put a manual in every gear, whether it's a camera, whether it's a lens, whether it's a blender at your home, whether it's a tea maker, a coffee maker, whatever the thing is, they're always going to put a manual in it. But the truth is, we do not like to read manuals. So I want you to go back, read the manual from back to back, because there are hidden things inside that manual that the camera manufacturer wants you to know. But because you don't care about reading it, you do not know. So actually, you are now not using your camera to its full potential, which is you're not making the good use of your money that you used in buying it, and now you want to buy a new one. Please, before you spend money to buy a new one, go and read your manual. The third point is go back to the basics. Photography is about lighting, composition, framing, and putting all of those things into creating an amazing image. But most of the time, we have allowed the idea of the gear limitation and all of this bigger gear stop us from actually remembering that these are not the necessary things. Tools are just tools. It's the skills that really matter. Because at the end of the day, giving like the base gear to someone who does not know how to run it or operate it would not actually take the best kind of images. It's not really about, oh, using the best gear, my gear is this, my gear is that. Do you really know how to photograph? Because that's the basic. Like, we have to go back to lighting, we have to go back to composition, we have to go back to understanding light and shadows, highlights and shadows, and all of those little things that makes the difference. And also you have to remember that when it comes to gear, the basic now, you have to remember that when it comes to gear, that what is a good gear for a documentary photographer might not actually be a good gear for a wedding photographer, might not actually be a good gear for a sport photographer. So you have to understand what kind of genre of photography you're into, and you need to buy the gear for it. So that you don't end up, because you saw your friend buy this new gear that works for his or her own niche, and now you're buying it, and you guys are in a different genre of photography. You're just wasting money. So that's why it's good to get back to the basics. Because if you understand what you're doing, the kind of photography you're doing, and how to create, you actually then know the kind of tool that you would need to create what you need to create for your genre. Back to basics before you go and buy the next gear. And that brings me to the fourth point, which is don't spend all your time watching camera review videos. I know I make some, like, okay, if you check the card here, you've seen I made a review about the Canon M50. You can check it out right here. But the point is, if you spend much of your time watching, indulging, getting all this information about the new camera gear that are coming in, you end up with this condition known as gas. G-A-S. Yes, you end up with that condition called gas. Have you ever heard of it? So gas is what they call gear acquisition syndrome. It's real, guys. So there are people who suffer from gas, which means that Canon brought out the ESR, they bought it, RP, they bought it, the R6 came out, they bought it, the R5 came out, they bought it, even the camera, they brought this cinema camera, the C70, they bought it, and they heard that Sony brought out the Alpha 1, they want it. Like they want to get all the gear, they accumulate this gear, they spend money on all of the gear that they would might not even use. And that's a real bad situation to get in. So if you don't do all those 3 steps, you might just end up suffering from this. And you, my friend, when you get to that situation, nobody will be able to help you. So the bonus tip right now, before you go to buy another set of gear or you want to upgrade, the particular one you're having, look for people who are shooting the same gear as you and ask them questions about how they are running their gear, how the things they are doing that is giving them the kind of result they are getting. Get into that circle of people who use the same gear as you, because they will share with you practical knowledge of how they are using the same gear as you and maybe slightly getting higher results than you are getting. Every time a camera company comes up with a new camera, it doesn't mean that the old one is bad. It just means that they added some new things to this one. So if other people are actually using the other camera bodies and are getting great results and you're not getting, it means there's nothing wrong with the camera you're using. It's just the problem is this way. So you need to go and make friends with them, join their circle, learn from them, go to workshops if you can, do groups if you can, join Facebook groups, WhatsApp group, Telegram group, whatever group you want to join, and make sure it's about the people that are using your kind of gear. So at the end of the day, if after going through all these tips that I've given to you, you still want to upgrade and get a new camera body, a new lens, and all of those gear, please go ahead. But the point of this video is to tell you that the gear you have, with the good knowledge of how that gear works, you can actually get an amazing result. Just know how to work your gear, because the best gear is always the one in your hands. Thank you guys for watching this video. My name is Mayor Utu. I'm a documentary photographer based here in Lagos, Nigeria. This channel, I share practical tips that help beginner photographers to actually level up. So if you're interested in that kind of content, please remember to subscribe, hit the like button, because it helps us grow the channel and get us into the faces of other people who might just need the same information as you do. Thank you so very much. You can check our other videos right here, and see you next week when our next video drops. Bye guys.